What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Empire YouTube channel. Today we're taking a look at Blastoise EX. Some of you guys have been asking for, Blastoise or Venusaur and stuff. Let me tell you right now, Venusaur, not happening. That deck is very stressful to play. It's not good unless you play control, but then you just lose. Blastoise EX, on the other hand, it's decent, but it struggles at the same time. It's a stage 2. You have no way to fully accelerate energy to it, so you have to build 2 turns building it up. Your max damage output is 180, and you have to discard energy from your hand. So when you're doing that, that means that, you're risking discarding the only energy in your hand to attack, which means you can't power up other Blastoises. So it gets kind of tricky. It does have the solid shell ability, which means it takes 30 less damage, so in reality, it has 360 HP if your opponent's trying to one-shot. We're also playing Palkia V-Star in here, just so that way you have an alternate attacker early on. And Star Portal can actually kind of help set up some energy on the board, which is what the deck really lacks. If you guys don't know, Star Portal, during your turn, you may attach up to 3 water energy from your discard pile to your water Pokemon in any way you like. And overall, I mean, there's not too much that we're playing in here. We have 4 Iono just to, shuffle draw 4 rare candy. We're also playing 4 Ultra Ball as well as 4 Battle VIP Pass. Playing an Energy Search just because you can search for an energy off of Iono or Irida that way. Playing 2 Superior Energy Retrievals, that way you can get back 4 energies and have 2 turns worth of attacks, which is nice. Unless you have to use them early on. And then we are running the Barrel as the engine. The one thing I will say about this deck, it's kind of clunky. Really hard to set up, but this is probably the best way I could get the list to work functionally, where you can consistently, get the board set up. But that's pretty much it. As always, the deck list will be right here, just so you guys have a full clean view of it. If you guys do enjoy today's video and watching me struggle playing this deck, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Later. Alrighty, guys. I've been trying to get gameplay for about 5 hours now. Live has not been good to me for those 5 hours. So hopefully, the gameplay that I get in the next 2 games is exactly what we want. I really want this Blastoise list to work. Basically Blastoise Palkia in the sense, but, we're going to see exactly what we can do. Hopefully we can get no Miraidons. I decided to pull it onto the casual ladder. Maybe it'll be a little bit more fun that way, and less stressful. Because, Blastoise and everything is good, but it's definitely not top tier. So, okay, so we're playing against a Mankey deck from 151. Not too sure what it is, but not the end of the world. We actually do have rare candy into Blastoise next turn, as well as switch, so we can possibly switch into something like Greninja. We're not going to be able to set up Blastoise in 1 turn, but we do have the ability to kind of showcase the deck and the consistency aspects. And that's really, all you can do. So my opponent using Youngster, which shuffles their hand into their deck to draw 5 cards. And they attach. They can use Monkey Beatdown. And thankfully, this Mankey isn't weak to water. And we actually get Irida, so Irida can be good. Irida means that we can get double Blastoise out. Plus, we can Energy Search in order to discard 1 energy. Off of something like Greninja. I think what I'm going to do here, though, is we'll grab Palkia. And then we'll also grab the Energy Search, just so that way we have something to potentially set up for the future. So we'll evolve into the Blastoise here. Go for the Energy Search. And then what we can do is use Concealed Cards to draw 2. And we get a rare candy and a water. And we actually can switch into the Palkia, which is nice. So I think that's what we'll do is we'll switch. And just to thin the deck a little bit, we'll use Rule the Region just to grab an Artisan. And then next turn, we can play Iono. Hopefully giving my opponent a better hand. That way it's not just a complete beatdown, no pun intended. And there is the rock chest plate. So my opponent gonna go for the Raging Punch. doing 20 to themselves. And our top deck is another Blastoise, so we can go Rare Candy Blastoise. We'll play down the Artisan, just so that way, you know, we can give our opponent a chance. So we'll play Iono. We do hit the Water Energy, but I'm gonna, you know... actually, I can't do much. I'll use Concealed Cards, but unless I get an Energy or a Palkia V-Star, there's not too much I can actually do. Which I'm completely fine with. I don't want this to be a blowout on my opponent, so... I'll go for the Radiant Greninja play next turn, potentially. We'll use Artisan to thin. We can just grab ourselves, I guess, Manaphy. And again, we'll just use Ruler Region to shuffle the deck. And we have one Bibarel, so should be okay. We'll pass. Again, my opponent can hit 470, but I think what we'll do next turn, maybe we can take a knockout with Blastoise and just kind of showcase what Blastoise can do. There's the Pokegear. Pokegear getting Youngster. And my opponent can use Artisan if they choose to. So there's the Youngster. And depending on what my opponent gets, we can actually boss his orders. So there's a Mankey. There's another Energy down on the Mankey. My opponent can use that Raging Punch again. Thankfully not going to be able to KOS next turn, so we have 2 turns potentially. We do get Battle VIP Pass. Not going to be able to do too much for us. So I think what we'll do... let's pass. There's a Rockruff coming down. Attaching to Rockruff. My opponent going to be able to hit 470 again. I really need something to draw here. And hopefully it's something useful. So we do get Ultra Ball, which means now we can set up the way that we want to. So get rid of the Battle VIP Pass and the... we'll keep one Palkia. I think what we'll do is get rid of the Artisan. And there's no point for me grabbing that. We'll grab the Palkia V-Star. Now, Palkia V-Star will be KO'd next turn, but thankfully with the portal, we can just go 1 and 1. And then that means next turn, if we get an Energy, then we can use the Greninja, potentially take 2 prizes to end the game. We take a prize card. We do get another Palkia. Not going to do us too much. My opponent is going to be able to draw 2 cards, though, with the Rockruff. And just looking at the, you know, aspect of everything else, there is the Riolu coming down. Looking at the consistency aspects, you know, it's not too bad. You know, maybe we can get a damage setup. So what we're gonna do here, we'll just get rid of these 2 in order to grab the Bibarel. Evolve into Bibarel. We do have some Pokemon we can shuffle back. We'll just use the Super Rod. Shuffle back in the Palkia. And then we can use the boss's orders. Go to the Mankey. Bibarel, drawing us 4 fresh new cards. And we do get Irida, which means that next turn we can actually grab something to start swinging. So we'll hit for 200 here. This means that we can grab a prize card, and we do get a water, so maybe we can actually attack with Blastoise. And there is a Koraidon coming down, so my opponent having some cards, which is nice. They're going to be able to use Double Draw again. And they are going to be able to Jacq in order to potentially search for an evolution. Or 2 evolutions, I should say. They grab the Lycanroc and the Lucario. Lycanroc. Being able to do 90 damage. Finishing Fang for 90. And now what we're going to do is just go into Blastoise and just start doing what Blastoise likes to do. Do I go into Blastoise because I can attach the next turn Superior Energy Retrieval and I can KO, and then what does this do? Yeah, I don't think my opponent's going to be able to KO this Blastoise. So we can actually take some prizes with Blastoise, which is nice. So what we can do here is Irida. Irida can grab the Superior. And we'll just grab... we have a boss in hand, so let's go for the Palkia. Just to kind of have a backup attacker. We'll go Palkia, go attach, and then next turn Superior Energy Retrieval. We can get 2 back. I should have pivoted the Greninja, but it's okay. We will be able to KO this Lycanroc because we do 140, so... There's the Gita. My opponent won't be able to attack this turn, which is good for us. So what this means is that we can use the Superior Energy Retrieval next turn, get the 2 energy back, attach, discard 1, KO this Lycanroc, and then if my opponent brings up the Koraidon, it won't be able to do too much to us, and we can KO that. And then after the fact, then we have Palkia to potentially attack with, so... Not looking too bad for us. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still have 5 energy in the deck as well. So it could be something where, you know, we use Chien Pao, but it's not the end of the world. My opponent benching the other Koraidon. So there are our prizes right there. So if we actually find a water energy, we could take 2 prizes on this Koraidon. And then kind of start to set up from there. And we actually do top deck the water, which is exactly what we needed. So we can get rid of these 2. And bring the 2 energy back. And go for the boss's orders into Koraidon. We can attach. Use Bibarel for 1. And we get Irida, which is okay. And then we can hit for 280, discarding these 2 waters. And now it's not looking so bad. We take 2 prize cards. We do get double Ultra Ball, which is nice because it means we can thin in order to go into Bibarel. So we actually might be able to go for the boss. So my opponent going into Koraidon here, that's good because then all we have to do is use Irida for the Superior Energy Retrieval to get the 2 energy back, and then we can go from there. Lucario V coming down, having that crushing punch. There's the Lake Acuity. Lake Acuity not going to do too much. And on top of that, my opponent is going to do minus 30 from Solid Shell. And then minus 20, so their attack is only going to do 170 damage. Which means they're barely 2-shotting Blastoise. That's wild. There's the Wild Impact. And now, just to, see what we can do, we can Ultra Ball. Get rid of a couple cards. We can Ultra Ball again, get rid of a couple cards. We'll fail the search here. And then we can go Bibarel for 4. Again, just seeing if we hit the Superior. And we do. So we can go Superior, get rid of these 2. Get the 2 energy back. Attach to Blastoise, and then we can use the Twin Cannons for 280 damage. 260, sorry. Finally taking the last 2 prizes, which means now we win the game, and we can try and hop into a game number 2. There's no game number 2, it's just because that one game was it, and the best one I could get, but I'm going to try and get into a game number 2. Alrighty, guys. Into game number 2 here. Gonna see if we can pull off the Blastoise plays. That way we can actually attack with Blastoise. And we do get the option to go first, which is good. It means that we can turn to Rare Candy. I'm just hoping to open, a Squirtle, a Water Energy, and an Irida. That's all I need. And sadly, we mulligan. I've been mulliganing a lot with this deck despite playing 16 Pokemon, but I only play a couple of basics, so it makes sense. So, my opponent having 3 Pokemon set up here. We only mulligan once, which is nice, and we actually don't have a bad start, so we do have exactly what I wanted, so we'll have to see what my opponent's playing here. HTTPS Roxy666. Not too sure what that link is to, but would not recommend going and checking it out. My allergies are acting up, and my nose is super itchy right now. My opponent is going to pick their mulligan, probably just looking at what we're playing. Oh, it's going to be super awkward. Thankfully, though, we do have the Ultra Ball start, so it's not too bad, and we do have Artisan. So... and we are playing against a Reverum Riolu deck. So, and we actually top deck the Irida. So we do have the turn 2, which is nice. So what we'll do is Artisan. Artisan can grab us the Bidoof, so that way next turn we can Barrel. I probably won't need Manaphy, but just in case, we will bench it. And now we just kind of set up for the following turn. We will Irida, grab Rare Candy, and Blastoise, Ultra Ball, we can Thin, and then we'll have a fresh Barrel for 5. And then all we need is 1 energy card, and we can start taking some knockouts. Because Blastoise does 140x, so that means that we're going to be in a weird situation. It's a shame that Blastoise isn't better, because it really is, you know, not super good. If I'm being honest, it's mediocre, but it's a fun deck. So that's why we're playing it. And, you know, people want to see how Blastoise is ran, and they want to see if it's good or not. So that's exactly what we do on this channel. We showcase decks, and we showcase if they're fun or not. So my opponent going Artisan. Artisan to grab the Diancie. Diancie not going to do too much. There's the Koraidon. A Fighting Energy onto the Koraidon, and a pass. So not looking too bad here. So I think they are playing the starter deck. So actually speaking, we can Irida, and we did top deck the Rare Candy. So we can grab these 2. And we can Rare Candy into the Blastoise. We can use the Artisan. Artisan will allow us to grab another Squirtle. We can go here into the Barrel. We can go Ultra Ball. I should have thinned differently, but it is what it is. And we'll draw a couple cards. So we didn't get the ability to attack, but it's not the end of the world. So we can Nest Ball, grab the Radiant Greninja, just so that way we have some cards to work with next turn. And from here, we're just going to pass. So next turn, what we're going to do is Ultra Ball this, and we'll probably grab a Blastoise. And then we'll Rare Candy into the other Blastoise, go from there. So my opponent can put 2 damage counters on themselves, being able to deal some damage to us. Not going to be able to do too much, though. It will be able to deal 130, but only 100 due to the ability with Blastoise. And I'm sorry if I sound a bit out of it or my voice sounds weird. I've just been recording for a long time, so my voice is kind of shot right now. So we can go here, grab the other Blastoise. And this is going to be a pure Blastoise game because our Palkias are actually prized. So what we can do is Industrious Incisors, and we do actually draw some energy, and we do have Irida as well. So what I'm thinking we do here, I'm thinking we just discard this energy. I really don't want to risk it, but at the same time, I don't hate the idea. I'm not in like a bad situation, so we'll use the concealed cards. Do we draw an energy? Okay, we get Superior Energy Retrieval, which is okay, I guess. So we're not punished by it. We can get the 1 energy back. and then we can take the KO here. And then we have superior energy retrieval for next turn, so we got to see a couple more cards. We have access to 2 Bibarels next turn. There's the Palpad. So my opponent is probably going to go into Dino Cry, and if they do, that's completely fine. We're going to be able to take a knockout next turn too. There's another Koraidon going down, so my opponent's probably going to go energy. If they were smart, they would go 2 energy on the Koraidon here, just because then it means that if I KO this one, they can still attack. So, but they choose not to, which is a small misplay, but it is what it is. So we'll go here, and then we can go Bibarel for 2. We're going to have to do it regardless to hopefully find some energy. And unfortunately, we don't. But what we can do is play Irida. Let's see how many energy are in the deck. So we have access to 6. So we can actually thin some cards. So we'll grab Irida. Or Ultra Ball. Sorry. So Ultra Ball, we'll get rid of the Artisan and the Palkia. We won't grab anything. Play the Palpad. I just need to draw energy. Put 2 back. And then we can use the Industrious Incisors. And unfortunately, we don't hit 2 energy. We only hit 1. And we don't hit 2 energy again. So I have 2 energy prized, and it's the most ridiculous thing in the entire world. I'm just going to switch into Manaphy, that way this Blastoise doesn't take damage. And then next turn, I guess I have to waste another superior energy retrieval. That's just the issue with this deck is, like, there's no clean way to consistently get energy. You can play Chien Pao, but if you don't have the ability to kind of set up, then it's awkward. So my opponent is going to be able to use Wild Impact here. And with only having 6 energy left, and 1 superior, we're only going to be able to take 4 knockouts. There's 8 Boss's Orders. It's so unfortunate. There's 190. Thankfully, though, if my opponent doesn't top tech an energy here, we're fine. So we're going to use Irida to grab the last superior energy retrieval. We'll use the superior, get rid of these 2. Grab the 2 energy. I'm not even going to risk it using Radiant Greninja. I'm just going to say Twin Cannons. Give me 2 prizes. I know I have 2 energy prized. Or if I get a Palkia, you know, I guess that's okay too. Here's both my Palkia. So I have to find 2 more energy. This is what I mean by live is just being annoying tonight. If my opponent gets an energy here, I'm pretty sure I lose. Man. There's Artisan. So my opponent's going to get 2 prizes here. And the only thing that I can do is bring up the Great Tusk with a boss. And bench a Palkia and hope I can draw with Bibarel. Because I have to find 2 energy and then I have to find 2 more energy. This game is just abysmal. I think my opponent is surprised they were able to take a knockout. My opponent needs to select their prizes here. Thankfully, this Koraidon can't attack, so I can actually buy myself a turn. But I would rather promote the Great Tusk than anything. And if my opponent doesn't take their prizes, then they're just going to lose. They do take their 2 prizes, so we'll bring up Blastoise. We draw an Irida. It's not going to be useful. Use the boss's orders. Bring up the Great Tusk. The barrel for 1. Hopefully get a card to thin. We do get Ultra Ball, which is good. Means we can get rid of the useless cards. I have 5 energy left. I don't even think I'm going to be able to win this game. Okay, so I have an Iona for next turn at least, but I don't think I'm going to be able to win this game because I have, what, 4 energy left? Means I have to attach, take a knockout. Yeah, I have to hope that I get a water energy out of my prizes on this 2-prizer. And then I have to take a prize on a 1 prize. I think the title for this video is going to be that Blastoise EX is the most stressful deck to play. Because you just need so much. I'm going to have to Iona myself next turn, draw off a barrel, hopefully get some energy because there's 5 energy left, right? There's 4 energy left. So I need 1 to attach, 2 to discard, 1 and 1. Or I have to hope that I can boss with the 1 that I get. Oh, but if you guys are curious, this is what I deal with most nights in order to get content for you guys. I try my hardest to get gameplays, get the most solidifying gameplays, so that way you guys, you know, can see the sequencing, can see the aspects of how things go. So, we're just gonna Iono here, hopefully drawing into some water energy. So we do get 1, which is good. So that means we can go here, and I need to hit 2 off of the barrel. If I don't, then I lose. So I'm just going to be able to hit 140. I'm going to need to find another energy to hit 140. It's going to be incredibly stressful. But at the end of the day, this is kind of what you get when you play stage 2 decks that require, you know, awkward setup like this. I don't even think my opponent is prevalent at this point. Oh man, I've never played a more stressful deck, and I enjoy playing Lost Box, which requires a ton of thinking. But Blastoise is just not good. It's not, like, there's so much you gotta fit into the deck. And even then, like, you try your best, but you only get 140 damage. And I think if my opponent finds a way to retreat this Great Tusk, I think I just run out of energies at some point. So, okay, my opponent was inactive for too long. I think that that's going to be the gameplay, guys. Blastoise EX, not a good deck. Would not recommend it. Maybe fun if you build it a certain way, but otherwise it's not consistent enough. The fact that you need energies in your hand every turn and you're, you know, discarding your output, it's really rough. So, yeah, would not recommend. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Otherwise, with that being said, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Later.